Welcome back to the show. Today, I want to talk about the three reasons you're not where you want to be. And I'm going to go through each of the reasons, and you're going to want to stick around for the last reason. It's going to hit the hardest. It's going to be the most ruthless, but it's the one that helped me personally the most. Now, be ready because, for me, I found that we stay stuck, or you can stay stuck, or I can stay stuck because we never diagnose the real problem. When we can bring awareness to what is stopping us and look in that mirror, it's a game changer. Now, reason number one, you're stuck. You're not doing the right thing, or in other contexts, you're in the wrong vehicle. You're on the right. You're putting in all this effort, working hard on the wrong things, being productive, but producing nothing. Been there, done that. And the story I want to share on this is, I've been in sales for 5+ years now. And one of the things that probably happened to me maybe a year, 2 years ago, I'm not sure exactly timelines here. I'm pretty bad with time, but I got on a sales offer for this company, and I'm not going to name companies or anything like that, but the philosophy and what happened is what I want to share. So I was on this offer, and at that time I was like, man, I really want to explode. I really want to grow. And I was trying everything. I was putting money and time into programs and support, and I was learning sales, and I was getting better and better. I felt like I was. But in terms of production, things were going worse. I felt like, I was getting on these calls, and it was just, I don't know, I was going downhill. I don't know what another way to describe it. And maybe you guys can relate to this. You get on this other sales offer, and it's like it feels like you forgot how to sell, like nothing's working the way it used to. You used to be way better, but yet you're putting in all this effort, and you're putting in direct effort in getting better at sales. You're working hard, right? But you're not producing what you want to produce. And part of me was like, well, I want to take 100% accountability. It's my fault. I got to figure this out, yada, yada, yada. And then when I was in this sales mastermind, I was a part of this group, and one of the people were asking me like, well, how's your offer that you're selling for? I mean, is it a great offer? Do you feel like, you can grow there? Are people crushing it? Or, is it the offer? And to me, I was like, well, it's got to be me because I'm not good enough. I got to keep getting better at sales. And you almost take accountability, but I was taking accountability on the wrong things. And this person really woke me up because they texted me and they were like, yeah, after talking to you and hearing about your offer, I think that you're on the wrong offer. You're in the wrong vehicle, and you need to get on a different offer. And I just sat there stunned. I was like, well, I never thought about that. Taking accountability means if you're seeing your level of production dip and dip and dip month after month, taking accountability means I got to get on a different offer. Something isn't adding up. And that's what made me realize and realize this number one thing that keeps people stuck is being on the wrong vehicle, doing the wrong thing. You're selling the wrong thing, you're on the wrong vehicle, you're with the wrong company. That is a possibility of why you're being stuck, or why you're not progressing, or why you're not going where you want to be. That is a reason. That is reason one. And this is the reason that got me stuck for a long time, because I was stuck in my ego thinking that I was the problem, all this and that. And hear me out. Hear what happened. So I end up switching offers, and I get in a different vehicle. I found a vehicle that was more aligned with me. I was on a bigger sales team. And the first month, I have my best month in sales that I've had, maybe not in my whole sales career, but I mean, within the last year was one of my best months. I exploded. And that was the only thing that changed. So that's the first thing. You gotta be in the right group in the environment. And another way that I look at it is you could have a great player in a bad team and you're not going to have the growth that you want. You're not going to make it to the playoffs. You're not going to have the success you want. You're going to continue to fail because you're in a losing organization. Same thing in sales. If you're in a losing organization or you're not in the right environment, that is taking ownership. Get in the right environment or create that. Water the grass where you're at. But obviously, as a sales rep, you're not the business owner. And so you can only do so much before you have to look out for yourself and get on in my case, a better vehicle. So that's story number one when it comes to that principle. You don't want to get confused like I was, where you just keep thinking you need to work harder. You just got to keep going. Busy is the path. Da 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 da. That's not always the fix. The fix isn't always working harder. It's stopping, getting honest about the vehicle. Does it match the destination that you personally want? If it doesn't, you have to take the leap of faith. And one thing I left out on the story is I was so scared to give up the sales, job that I had to go look for another offer that it kept me stuck even longer. You had, when I was in this limited mindset, I didn't believe that I could find another option. I didn't think that there was anything out there, and I didn't have enough faith to take that step to go look for it and to go find it and go create it. And it wasn't until I cut ties that I found that other option and found that abundance that was out there. Now, that is reason number one. Reason number two for why you're stuck or why you're not seeing the success you want: you haven't done it long enough. This one was a tough pill for me to swallow. Either you haven't done enough volume, you haven't done it long enough, which they're both the same, and you quit too early. Compounding returns, they show up 30, 60, 90, even past that, 180 days past, when most people have already stopped and given up. Now, the thing that I thought about with this is how many times in our lives do we give up 3 feet from gold? So many times, right? When you're wanting to give up, when you're thinking that all of this is for nothing and you don't have anything else to give. If you just show up one more week, one more day, you find the gold. And that's the book that I think of every time when I'm about to give up, where I want to just call it quits, throw in the towel, say, hey, this isn't for me. I've thought that so many times in sales, like, this isn't for me, maybe I'm not cut out for this. And I just remember that book, 3 Feet from Gold, right? He was digging, and he gave up. And the next guy came in, started digging, and found the gold immediately. Don't doubt. Keep the faith. Faith is an action word. If you have faith, then you're going to keep putting in the action. If you don't have faith, you're going to stop. And that's principle number two for me, which is you haven't done it long enough, period. Point blank. There's so many times when I thought I'd been doing it long enough. I thought I'd been in sales long enough. I thought I knew what I was doing. Humbled reality is there's always something else to learn. And if you're not learning and you're not growing, you're going backwards. Another analogy: the gap between, planting and harvesting, right? Just like when you're planting, the harvest, there's seasons to everything in life. And there's seasons to your sales career, to your fitness, to your results. And you got to push through that season of planting and not seeing anything grow, not seeing any growth. And then all of a sudden, you see this big tree or you see this big plant, and it's because you waited for the harvest to come. So what have I been doing this long enough to know it doesn't work? And what's crazy is number one and number two are so hard to know which one, right? Because on number one, I told you guys you got to get a new vehicle potentially. But on principle number two, it's you haven't done it long enough. They both go hand in hand. And I think sometimes we get in our head of which one you'll know. You will know. You got to follow your gut. You got to follow your instinct. And, if you believe in God, follow the Spirit, follow God, because you'll know which one it is that you're missing. Okay. Reason number three. Told you guys if one's gonna kick you in the butt. Reason number three: You're not where you want to be. You're full of crap. This is the one nobody wants to hear, but you know what I'm talking about. You're just full of crap. You say you want the things you want, but your calendar and your actions say the exact opposite. And that was the truth for me. Another way of putting it, you're not as good as you think you are. You're I don't know, you're full of crap. You're lying to yourself. The narrative and the behavior don't match. So on one hand, you hear people say you got to fake it to make it. You got to believe you're that guy before you get there, which I completely agree with. And I'm continuing to remember that you got to always be imagining yourself as the 2.0 version, and what would that guy make decisions like? But on the other hand, you have to be real with yourself. Is the calendar matching up? Are you doing the actions that this person or this version of yourself would do when it comes to fitness, when it comes to nutrition, when it comes to sales, when it comes to mastery? You got to have those things ironed out. And the thing that I think about a lot, so I want to share something that really has helped me. And this is actually, I don't know, my first, I guess, explaining something that I use, an app, an operation that has helped me a ton. And so I'll share with you guys what really helped me realize that my calendar wasn't matching the actions that I wanted. And you guys have heard me, I talk a lot about Andy Frisella. He's been a huge influence on me. And I did 75 hard with him, done a lot of different things, but he has this thing called the power list, and I've been doing this for years, but he created a software like his own AI. It's called Arcane. And one of the cool things about it is this AI is one of those AIs that it doesn't agree with you. It calls you out on your BS. It's one of the most brutal upfront AIs I've ever seen. It's not like your typical AI that kind of just says, "Oh, you're doing good. Keep rolling, keep doing it." And so I got into this AI and I've been using it, and it's awesome. It uses the power list, 5 specific tasks you're supposed to be doing. It gives you a breakdown, and you tell this AI your goals, and it'll tell you some of the things that you should be doing on a daily basis. And what opened my eyes was everything I wanted. I wasn't doing any of the goals that it were specifically for what I wanted. So that's what I mean where your calendar isn't linked up. It's not matching your results that you say you want. So that's how I diagnosed it. Simple as that. And I'm going to link in the show notes because I actually am partnered up with Arcane and Andy on this app because I love it so much. And if you're somebody out there that wants that accountability, but also just that reality check of, man, am I doing the things that I say, the life that I want? And does it add up? He's made it really cool. The app has some really cool features that I have never seen from an AI, and it's really, really cool, and it really makes it fun too. It tracks your progress, you like earn points. It's been a game changer for me. And so I would love to hear from you guys. If you guys want to check it out though, you click the link in the show notes here and you'll be able to check it out. And it's not free. I'll be real with you. It's not free. There is a cost to it, but for me, it's been night and day worth it. So you guys will have to check that out. But that was the thing that made me see this last one, which is you're full of crap. You're lying to yourself. You're lying to your schedule. It's not adding up. And those are the 3 things that I want you guys to think about after listening to this podcast. You already know which one it is for you, probably. It's probably come up in you like, oh man, am I in the wrong vehicle? What is it, right? Pick the reason, make the switch, and then figure out if that wasn't the right solution, then make the next switch, right? And let's go attack this thing. I'm going to do the same thing because I know there's something in my life because it's usually one of these 3 that's stopping you from getting to where you want to go. Check it out. It's called the Operator Standard. Check it out. Let me know what you guys think. Until next time.